Hello everyone! Voin English class ahyanin kan English reader textbook ami Lesson-3 kan zirchandona ni. The Shepherd's Treasure ti kha kan siar hodona a textbook nei chuanin page 7 kain lo keu ve don nia o ka chiaranga nangma ni pon in lo chiar ve don nia. In a village in Iran, there once lived a shepherd. He was very poor. He did not even have a small cottage of his own. He had never been to school or learned to read and write, for there were very few schools in those days. Iran kwa a hun pakhata chuanin shepherd hi oma. Shepherd chu kan sia nga tiro beram veng tu kan tiang chi hi ani. Ti chuanin he shepherd hi a re thei em meya. Ama in ti turpo tereu te po anei lovani. Ti chuanin school a po akal ngai lova lekhazia le chiar te po athiam lova achan chu ka ti hun lai khanin school kha atlem em ani. Though poor and uneducated, this shepherd was very wise. He understood people's sorrows and troubles and helped them face their problems with courage and common sense. Many people came to him for advice. Soon, he became famous for his wisdom and friendly nature. The king of the country heard about him and thought of meeting him. Tichuanin rethein lekha po zirngai mia lo ni ma seng he shepherd hi afing em meni. Mipuite an harsat na te an buai na te asha thiam ema tichuanin fing le fel takin heng an harsat na ten buai na te sukyang turin na pui china ni. Mi tam takin na hena thuron la turin local china. Alarin aming thang ta ema ni. Ama fela wang te le afina wang te khani na lar ta ema. An ma ani lal an ramalal tak yal po khanin a chanchin kha alo sia a ti chuan ama kha motum ta ani. Disguised as a shepherd and riding on a mule, one day the king came to the cave where the wise shepherd lived. As soon as the shepherd saw the traveler coming towards the cave, he rose to welcome him. He took the tired traveler inside the cave, gave him water to drink, and a share of his own meal. The king rested for the night in the cave and was greatly impressed by the shepherd's hospitality and wise conversation. Tichuanin an khwa lal chu beram veng tu ang tho khanin a in siam dang lam ta tichuan sabeng tunga achuanga chuan kha shepherd lar em omna hmun puk kha aron thleng ta a shepherd khanin he zin konga kal lai mek ama puk lampang aron pan amu khanin alo dinga tichuanin alo welcome a tichuanin a hruai luta ama puka chuan in tur te eitur tlem te anei te kha asem ve a tichuan khami zan kha lal kha khami puka khanin a om ve ta a mak ati ema kha shepherd kha alo fel awang le fing le fel taka ati ti pui the awang te khanin mak alo ti ani lal chuanin. Though still tired, the king decided to depart the next morning. He said, "Many thanks for your kindness to a poor traveler. I have a long way to go. Permit me to leave." Tichuan la chau ma se lal kha atuk zinga chuanin akal don ta a akal don khanin kachunga I that awangin kalom mai ni kalna tur kala nei thui boxya kakal phot meyange atya. Looking straight into the eyes of his guest, the shepherd replied, "Thank you, your majesty, for paying me the compliment of a visit." Tichuanin kha shepherd khanin ama mi khwal kha amita en chat meya o lalber kalom eme ke milot lo du awangin tita. The king was astonished as well as pleased. He is indeed very wise, he thought to himself. I need people like him to work for me. And the king appointed this humble shepherd the governor of a small district. Chuan lal chuan mak ati ema. Alo fing hle ani don hi atia. Heng tiang ang mi fing hi kama mo alom kan hwaya thok turin atia. Ti chuan lal chuan chu shepherd chu district tero te governor ni turin arwai ta ani. Although he rose to power and dignity, the shepherd remained as humble as ever. People loved and honored him for his wisdom, sympathy, and goodness. He was kind and just to one and all. His fame as a fair and wise governor soon spread throughout the country. Chuanin ka shepherd ka lo lal em to ma se ama ang tho khanin atlom ngai em thovani mi ang mangai thina wang tele afel na awang te khanin an ngai sang ma mi zong zong chunga khanin thatakin fair takin ana kha thok thina ni fair le fel takin governor na a tho thina wang khanin rampum ma khanin mi khan an shele ta ani. Now the governors of other provinces grew terribly jealous of him and began to talk to the king against him. They said, "He is very dishonest and keeps for himself part of the money that he collects as tax from the people." Why did he always carry with him, they added, an iron chest? Perhaps he carried in it the treasure that he had secretly collected. After all, they said mockingly, he was an ordinary shepherd and could behave no better. Tichuanin, katyang ang bifel le cha ani awang khanin, mundanga governor te khan, an lo thik may ni, achan chin kha thalo deu khanin, lal hne na khan an vasoita ani. Ani chu arin omlova, mi puite hne na changa text alak chin po, athukru china ni amata nin ala china ni antia ni lo seng chuan nga tinge iron chest thira changa siam bom so aken zelang hemi bom a hianin ama thil ro hlute athil ruk thinte ada tha china ni hang antita ani chu ama pon shepherd ve mei khania a o te po a om ve thawalom hetianga om te po hi a om ve thawalom. At first, the king did not pay attention to these reports, but how long could he ignore these governors and their endless stories about the shepherd? One thing was certain, the king discovered the new governor did carry an iron chest with him all the time. Lal khanin atira chuanin heng an soi neu hi anga event vak ngai lo china ni mase a haide rei thelova nga tinge ti chuanin anthil soya khanin thudik pakhat kha chu om tel tat me ni he shepherd hianin ama bula thira tanga siam bom chu akeng nge ni ti mu boxi a. So one day the new governor was summoned to the palace. He came riding on his camel, and to everyone's delight the famous iron chest was there, fastened securely behind him on the camel's back. The chuan ni khatsu he governor thar hi lal chuan akota ani. Ama sangkong saya chuanin achuanga. The chuan mi zong zong muwa chuanin chu thira tanga bom siam nge mei chu anunga chuan alo keng tel nge yani. Now the king was angry. He thundered, "Why do you always carry that iron chest with you? What does it contain?" Ti chuan lal chu thin rim ta engwangin nge he thira tanga bom siam hi iken zela enge chunga khanin om ti na zot ta ani. The governor smiled. He asked his servant to bring in the chest. How eagerly the people standing around waited for the shepherd to be found out. But how great was their astonishment, and even of the king himself, when the chest was opened. No gold or silver or jewels, but an old blanket was all that came out. Holding it up proudly, the shepherd said, "This, my dear master, is my only treasure. I always carry it with me." Lal chuanin chu bom chu hong turin ati chuan governor chu nui ver ver chung chuan ama chia lo chu atira bom chu ron kengta mipui zong zong khan a chhunga om kha an mu cha kani hepa hi han mu chuak nge se thil ti diklo te po lang chuak se tin an lo chang renga lalpo chuanin a thli rengani ma se kha bom kha an han hon khanin a chhunga rangkachak te ro hlu te engma om lova ma se nge om ti chuan blanket hlui deuh mai hi alo phor chhuaka he blanket hi keng chung khanin chu shepherd chuan olal ber he hi katan chuan karo hlu ber ani sin he hi lom ka ken reng thina chu ti na chang ta ni. But why do you carry such an ordinary blanket with you? Surely you are the governor of a district, the king asked, to which the shepherd replied with quiet dignity, "This blanket is my oldest friend. It will still protect me if, at any time, your majesty should wish to take away my new cloaks." Lal chuan engwangin nge heng tiang blanket pa ngai tak mai hlui box si iken kwal thina governor hialin hilom ni ti na zota ti chuanin chu shepherd chuanin ti hian a chang ta olal ber he blanket hi ka thian hlui ber ani sin nakina ka nei zong zong te ka sil fen te min lak sak po ni lang he blanket hi chu kata ni reng do na kabula om reng do na sin ti na chang ani. How pleased the king was, and how embarrassed the jealous governors became to hear the wise man's reply. Now they knew that the shepherd was indeed the humblest and the wisest man in the land. The king made him the governor of a much bigger district that very day. Chuan lal chu alom ta chu ti rualin governor dang ho amalo thik thin te chu anzak ta chema a fin awang khanin a chan na te kha a fel fai awang khan anzak chem mai ni tuna chuanin he shepherd governor ni ta hi a fin zia te le alo in pha niam zia te an hu chuak ta vek ani ti chuanin khamini la khan lal khanin kha shepherd kha district a lian zok governor a siam ngalta ani ole he thon thu hi angai nomin ti angai nom ti ro mi chanchin soi apoi zia tele mi kan sha chan lova kan han pu chha ri ngot apoi zia te po kan zir chwa ka ti ro chuti rualin ma ani in ngai tlom na apoi mo zia tele enganga din mun sang po kan ompon fing le fel tak le in ngai tlom taka kanom zel apoi mo zia te kan zir chwa ka ni voin zir lai chang hianin ole kha zong kha voin kan zir ho thei chu ni nga a thon thu hi abula changin voi khat in lo chhar chhuak le theu don nya